السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إنا نستعينك ونستغفرك ونستهديك ونؤمن بك ونتوب إليك ونتوكل عليك ونثني عليك الخير كله نشكرك ولا نكفرك ونخلع ونترك من يفجرك. اللهم إياك نعبد ولك نصلي ونسجد وإليك نسعى ونحفد نرجو رحمتك ونخشى عذابك إن عذابك بالكفار ملحق. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah again. We have been studying the 10th word from the book called The Words, and we studied up to the middle of the 9th truth. Now, on the 9th truth, we studied last week the story of life. I am looking at the book, and death, and how we are going to benefit from these manifestations of the names of God, the qualities of God. So try to understand, again, mainly our subject is resurrection, whether really, especially bodily resurrection, is going to take place. Of course, the preservation of our spirits is also in the subject, within the subject. So we discussed that, mainly we discussed that the creator of this universe is addressing us, human beings, without any intermediary. That was only meaning that we are given the senses in order to communicate with God directly. So through his investigating his creation, we can communicate with him by using the tools of our human qualities. And another point was, we are seeing that the things are coming into existence so easily, in a speedy way, and nothing is really preventing the creation or existence of another thing. So it shows that the universe is the product of an absolute being. So the universe, although we see that in creation, it is the usual practice of the creator, general practice of the creator, that it takes place at stages. But that doesn't mean that the creator is building up the things, but at every moment. That point was quite interesting and important to notice. At every moment, every act of creation is perfect. But as far as our observation of the acts of the creation is concerned, we are observing a gradual development. The reason is to demonstrate that the creator is knowing what he is going to do and demonstrating and revealing his qualities step by step, stage by stage, gradual creation, so that we will know how human beings are going to communicate with the creator through following the way he creates. So if I want from my creator to create something. What I do, I follow his order. When I follow his order, I have to wait for the gradual creation of the result. Not immediately, because I have to learn how to communicate with the creator so that he is not my servant. I am his servant. But in fact, he serves us in such a way that we understand he is the one who creates everything, provides everything. But I am the one who asks him to create something for me, and it is the one who decides how to do it. So this relationship is beautiful because we have to understand that we are the needy ones. He is the absolute provider ones. So to continue the reasoning alongside with this direction, the author gives more examples how the recreation of this universe is extremely easy for the creator. So since we experience our existence in this universe and try to understand how we came into existence, we understand that we are given existence. And again, the way we are given existence demonstrates how the creator who gave us our existence is able to do something. So that we will understand, since he gave us this existence, this life, this experience, or the opportunity to experience his qualities, communicate with them, necessarily must keep our relationship with him. Why? Because, first of all, no problem for him, because he's the absolute one, limitless one. That's one main reason. The other reason, he gave us the desire for continuing our existence in the perfect way. So this desire is a promise from our creator. So the author is giving more and more examples in order to make us be convinced, fully convinced, that the one who created us here now, as we see it, the manifestation of it, this universe is just an exhibition hall of his qualities, and introducing him, the creator, to me. So the same creator can, or will as well, create this universe and continue to create this universe, but this time according to the capacity that I developed in my relationship with him, so that I will be treated with a new capacity after being graduated from the school of this universe. Okay, let's read it now. Let's suppose there were to be some gifted writer who would write out in a single hour the confused and obliterate letters of 300,000 books on a single sheet without an error, omission, or defect, complete and in the best form. This writer wrote something. Of course, this is an analogy. Everybody understands that the creator of this universe is likened to a writer, so that it will make sense for us, or it will be easier for us to understand. So every day, the writer of this universe, writer of the book of this universe, obliterates it, takes away, and writes another one, writes another, if you like, version of it, but not exactly the same, but slightly different, to demonstrate that it is a new act of creation, not the continuation of the previous existence. So he's doing that in front of my eye. If someone were then to say to you that writer could not write out again from memory a book written by him that had fallen into the water and become obliterated. Of course, this is an analogy referring to our death. So as far as I see, the universe is gone, and as far as my experience of life on this earth is concerned, when I die, I think, and at least for the moment, I think it is gone. It's obliterated. Now, if someone, can someone say this, would you then say that he is unable, and would you not believe in this ability? So he can do it again. Of course, we say, of course he can. Why? Because I've seen the experience. I have experienced his way of acting, creation. So he can do it. Or think of some talented king who, in order to demonstrate his power, or for the sake of providing a warning example, removes whole mountains with a single command, turns his realm upside down, and transforms the sea into dry land. Then you see that a great rock rolls down into a valley, so that the path is blocked for guests traveling to attend the king's reception, and they are unable to pass. Now, every day we know that every stage of our existence, the previous stage is taken away from us, and new stage is introduced. It means, to think of it in terms of a longer period, baby, child, young, middle age, old age, and that is the stages of our creation, existence. So when I die, now what happened? I couldn't communicate anymore, it seems to be, with my creator, because I have lost my life. It means my life is taken away from me. Death is given to me. What I understand that, no, he has been creating me in such a fascinating way that I was a baby, maybe I was just a cell, and made me in this form right now. I was just a cell. And now I became aware of him, and through my senses, I communicated with him. Now death is given to me, but can he not give it back? Look, all my labor, all my communication with him fall into order. It means failed. Do you think my existence is so meaningless, so that at the end I will get lost completely and completely be forgotten about? Is it possible? That's why the question arises, the creator of this universe doesn't seem to be doing something purposeless with no wisdom. Everything has its purpose, so the death is given to me for a purpose. In the analogy, it looks like a person who's traveling and somebody is moving everything and making the road smooth for him, but at the end there was a stone, a rock if this rock is not removed, all my life will be pointless, would fall into nothingness, meaningless. All my feelings, expectations fall into the sea. That's it, lost. Is it really possible? Does it really fit the wisdom we see in this world to think that that's it, that's the end of my being? Now, if someone should say to you, that exalted one will remove or dissolve the stone or the rock, however great it may be, with a single command, he will not leave his guests stranded. It means that's it. Was it the purpose of my living here? Was it the end of all my interaction with this universe and getting to know who the author of this perfect book of universe is and communicating with him through my senses directly? Yeah, and that's it. Death is given finished. Forget about your being anymore. Would you then say that he will not remove a stone or be unable to do so? He won't do it, or he's not able to do it. Actually, the sentence must be the other way around. He won't be able to do it. One question, of course he will, but that's the universe. Will not do it, and then all the creation of the universe will turn into meaninglessness, purposeless, nonsense. Of course, he must, according to my understanding, he must be doing that. So I have to prepare myself accordingly. Or if someone one day should gather together a great army, and you are then informed that he will summon its battalions together with a blast of a trumpet after they had dispersed to set. When we die, all our ingredients of our body disintegrates. They disintegrate. So do you think the one who did it before, like, and arranged the army, and every member of the army, it means the soldiers or commanders, whoever they were there, became aware of each other, and they were well arranged. Now they said, okay, get rest for half an hour, and then again with the blast of a trumpet, that is the actually language of the Quran. It means, come on, get together again. Everybody in their places back. Is it that much also? And the battalions will form up in disciplined shape. Would you respond by saying, I don't believe it? Were you to say any of these things, your behavior would truly be madness. I mean, after doing this and dismantling it, and then he cannot do it again. It's already demonstrated that he created it, did it, practiced it, demonstrated from scratch. Now it would be much easier. If you understood these three parables, now look forward further and see how the pre-eternal designer of this universe turns over in front of our eyes the white page of winter and opens the gray pages of spring and summer. Now we see that how the universe is continuously changed, and the life on earth is also continuously changed. So he's doing it. Then he describes on the page of the earth's face with the pen of power and destiny in the most beautiful form, more than 300,000 species of creation. Now, although we discussed about the continuously coming into existence anew last Saturday, here also referring to some words of the Quran, trying to understand, trying to help us understand the language and the vocabulary of the Quran. The author is, without mentioning, cleverly makes us get introduced to the language of the Quran and teaches us, but in a perfect wisdom. This is really interesting. The main aim of the author is to introduce the reader to the Quran. So if we develop our understanding in the concepts of the Quranic language, so like the trumpet, blowing the trumpet is nafakha fi sur, it is the Quranic term, and the pen of power and destiny again will qalam. The Quran uses it with the pen. What does it mean? Now, everything is designed and directly created by God, although it is an example, it's a simile. Writing, an author is writing a book in this world, of course, within the conditions of this world. An author, a person, is writing a book using a pen and ink, not typing, but classical example, but it's a good example. What we see in this universe, we don't see the man who's writing it. What we see, the pen is really writing each sentence with a perfect meaning, directly, with no hesitation. But I didn't see the man, I saw the tip of the pen writing. Now, what we are doing here, we see the action of the pen writing the universe, the book of the universe. We say, yet the sentences are being written. For example, when you look at a screen, let's say you are communicating with somebody on the other end, and he shares your screen as well. What you do now, you see that meaningful sentences are written. You are in connection with somebody else. What do? Meaningful sentences. You say the one on the other end is writing it, although you don't see anything that he's writing it. But because you see that it is meaningful, the sentences are so meaningful, so you say, no, the person is writing it. Not the screen itself is writing it, but an intelligent person is writing a new sentence there, every line by line. So we understand that the surface of this earth is a page of the universe, and things are coming into existence continuously as if a new sentences are being written by an author. We don't see the author, but we see that the sentences are meaningful, full of wisdom. So it means the author is deciding what to write and making it meaningful. And if it is possible that he can manifest, demonstrate his knowledge by writing it on the surface of the earth. That's what we see everywhere, but of course we see the earth closer to us. So we understand that an scribe is writing the page with his power and decision, destiny. And also, this is an introduction to belief in qadar. Qadar means destiny. Now, they call it predetermination because it is predetermination, because the author knows what to write before he writes it, knows what to write. What should he write? For example, as far as our relationship with the Creator is concerned, author is well aware that what I am going to ask him, what he is going to give my lot by creating it, whatever I need to be created for myself. So for many reasons, sometimes I ask him to give something to me, he gives, sometimes he doesn't, and creation is continuing in this way. That is called destiny. Destiny is related to my relationship with him, maybe through his universe, the order of the universe, obeying the order of the universe. But at the same time, I know that I cannot create it. I just attempt. As far as I know, the principles of the order of the universe, whatever I learned from it, or however I learned from it. But all my attempt is, in fact, a request from my Creator. Please create it for me in the continuation of the creation of the universe altogether, a new creation. Every moment we are experiencing a new creation. So he is writing it according to his knowledge and making it possible to be demonstrated in the world, in the universe, according to his power. So this knowledge, power, and unseen inscribes, and the determination of the Creator, how he determines the universe should be created. As far as I am, human beings are concerned, how my request from him, practicing the free will, asking him, I choose to have this, but I cannot do it, please do it. To create it for me, it is just a petition. I'm not the creator of my choices. I cannot choose it, for example. I cannot choose what to create 1 month later, but I do. I always attempt the order of the universe to see how God creates and teaches me that I should present my request to him so that he will create the result according to his infinite, absolute knowledge. What I deserve to be given, what I must be given, what some things may be not appropriate for any reason, known to him, I may not be given. Or I may be subject to training. But I have to accept that my choice is not, it doesn't mean I am going to create it. Somebody else will create it, and accordingly, of course, the owner of the universe will create it, and accordingly, this creator will answer my prayers, my requests, as I not only deserve it, but also helping my progress in this universe, in my relationship with the Creator is concerned, what I need really to have, or which kind of result I need to be given. He knows better. I have to take care of my responsibility. He knows what to do. If you like, his responsibility is to create what is best for me. Sometimes I may say, please, God, give me millions of dollars so that I should really stop bothering about my struggling with the difficult conditions of, especially this time, life. No, millions are coming. Look, I asked God to do something for me, give me a favor. He didn't answer. Yeah. If he did, it would be very bad for it. It means you will think that whatever I ask God, he gives, forget about it. I should not really try to implement or to practice my position as a worshiper, as a needy one. So God says, okay, you have to know your position. I know what my position is. You are the one who is needy. I am the one who decides and creates. Now that is how the relationship is established. So you have to practice your neediness. I wouldn't let you feel that whatever you ask me, I have to create it, so I am your slave. No, you have to keep remembering that you are always needy. And to express your neediness, you have to obey the way I create. That is what we do in this world. Without obeying the way he creates, we cannot practice our worshiping him. Anytime I do anything, I must bear in mind that I am obeying the will of my creator. Even I am doing some chores, small things, errands, cleaning the house or taking something away from my table away, this kind of activities, they are all the way of obeying the order of the universe, therefore obeying the will of the universe. So this rule is kept, but overall decision is made by the creator. I have to always obey the order of the universe and ask God whatever I need. I am free to ask everything. For example, I can ask, please, God, give me paradise. He says, okay, in order to deserve the paradise that you imagine, whatever it is, of course, Quran speaks in general terms. So I will give it to you, but you have to get ready for it. For example, if a student goes to the professor and said, please give me pass. So I will get my degree so that I will start my business in life. Professor says, I can give, but what are you going to do in life? With no knowledge, no education, no training. You cannot benefit from the degree that I give you. You have to, what? Get ready for it, prepare it. So paradise means really living in the presence of God in a much clearer way of existence. Here, although we are living in it is possible through belief in God, awareness of God, to live in this world with the God consciousness. Is it possible? But not everything that our capacity requires can be met, will be met here. I have to prepare myself to be ready to live and communicate with my Creator as an educated, trained, prepared person. So I have to get it. I am trying to avoid to use also, although it keeps coming to my tongue, deserve it. To a certain extent, deserve is the right word, but I am afraid that we may understand, oh, paradise, what we deserve. No, we deserve just to live in this world. And for example, I say I'm Thursday, typical example, I am thirsty, so I have to go and drink water. When I drink water, it is satisfied. That is what I deserve? Correct. But this situation demonstrates only bodily deserving. Body is satisfied. How about your human spirit? How about the capacity of your feelings? You want satisfaction at the highest level and perfectly and eternally with no, it means permanently, no end. That's what I want. Yes, my body is satisfied, but my spirit is not satisfied. So I have to train that my spirit that when my body is satisfied through this process of satisfaction, I have to understand that somebody is satisfying me and I have to get to know him better as the creator of this universe and as an absolute being. So, he can satisfy the needs of my spirit as well. That is called Iman. And through this Iman consciousness, accepting the reality, Iman consciousness, I am preparing myself to get in contact with the Creator at a higher level than what I have experienced in this world. That is my relationship with the Creator. That is how we should understand so-called predestination, God's pre-decision about what will happen to me according to his unlimited knowledge, not subject to time limitations and space limitations. Because absolute knowledge cannot be describable within the conditions of this world. There are some things written here. Let me read it. You said he doesn't create some things that we request in the way of how he creates. Can you give an example except verbal request? I feel as if always he gives, as far as you know, how to request according to the order. Like when you fire paper, it burns. Correct. Good point. Good point. That's what I want. Internet connection. Okay, that's what I want. But I don't know whether I can have it or not. This is my emotions. This is also prayer. But this prayer, of course, it is called tree prayer. It means every human being prays it. But we are expected to address this feeling to the right person, to the right object. I mean, if I say, I don't know, by accident or by chance, if I am lucky, it will happen to me. This is not the relationship with the Creator. It is the sign to show that I believe in accidental existence. It is a very dangerous understanding. So we should be very careful when we use the word luck. If I'm lucky, good luck. This kind of language is very important. Now, two ways of communicating. There are, one of them is verbal and emotional expression. The other one is physical attempt. In my relationship with the universe in terms of physical interaction, it means so obeying the order and the result is created. That is how God creates. That's his usual practice. Very exceptional cases in terms of this strange phenomena, employing prophets and giving the message to them, something not accustomed at all in this world. Somebody is receiving information from God directly, and not in the way of inspiration, but really literal teaching. These words, to be clear, are to be conveyed to human beings. Exactly. Giving the speech, guiding speech to human beings through a man. It is impossible to imagine because we don't experience this at all. It is not easy to digest. Of course, it is easy to imitate the culture and say, we are Muslims, the Prophet Muhammad or Prophet Jesus, Moses received message from God. What does it mean? How can you confirm it? It is not an easy thing at all. We must admit it. It is not easy to confirm confirm of a person's claim that he received message from God directly. Not easy, because no example of it in this world we can see. Although universe is created in a way that it is miraculously happening, but that's what I am used to. This is a very exceptional case. In this case, the Creator helps the people who are wondering, puzzled, perplexed about this matter. How can they accept that this person is employed by God to convey the message? Then in this extremely exceptional case, create something which is not the way of accustomed way of creating by us. That these are called prophetic miracles. These are exceptional. We should forget about it at this stage of reasoning. What my relationship with the universe by obeying the order is concerned is not important at all. Why? God doesn't change it. In the Quran or in his revelation, in other revelations as well, God says, I don't change it. I don't change. Very famous, most frequently cited the Quran. You will never, ever find any change in the way God creates. Why? Believing, non-believing, good people, bad people, with a bad intention, takes the knife or a rifle, whatever it is, weapon, kills a man. All their attempts are equally accepted and created. The results are created. These are related to our body. Our bodily connection with the universe, as the example of thirsty man drinking water is concerned, with a believer or not, good intention, bad intention, naturalist person, or the believing in God person, regardless, anybody drinks the water, satisfies his body. Why? This is the place where we are going to learn how to communicate with the Creator. That's a means. This means must be provided to anyone so that they will utilize it or not. That is the place where we are learning. Like the professor goes to the class and delivers the speech or class, it teaches the class. There are some students carefully listening. There are some of them absent, some of them not paying attention to it, keep texting to his friends. It is very common nowadays. So does the professor change his way of teaching according to everybody? No. So that at the end, whoever was sincere in educating himself, preparing himself for the life after graduation, pays serious attention to the teachings of the professor, the others don't. But they are given the same opportunity. Can you imagine some students are treated privately? And they said, okay, somebody come. So-and-so, come to my room. I will teach you extra, and then give the questions in the exam equally to all of them. The others will say, look, you treated them differently than from us. How you expect us to be as successful as they are? Of course, it would be unjust. That is why the universe is like a professor teaching in the class with no discrimination, equally to everyone. That's why they are accepted. But as far as my relationship with the order of the universe and getting the result is concerned, I am not privileged. Why? The purpose of receiving the result from the Creator is to get to know the Creator through this action. That is a completely different concept now. Whether I utilized it or not, that is my responsibility. To go to the kitchen and get the water, wherever it is supplied, and drink it is my bodily responsibility. It is a temporary responsibility. It is not significant at all, but it is the opportunity for me to get to know who is providing water, who is satisfying me, who arranged all this beautiful universe for me, and get to know him and present my human needs to him, not bodily needs. Bodily needs are established through the relationship with the order of the universe. That's not significant. This is a tool. Professor teaches it. You may record it, doesn't matter. Have you learned it? Have you studied on it? Have you benefited from it? Have you educated, trained yourself accordingly? That is the purpose of the class or the professor's teaching. Otherwise, being present in the class is not the purpose. Being present in the class is only the means of reaching the purpose. That's why everybody is equally sit in the class. Everybody sits in the class equally, and everybody is treated equally. But the result, some of them get A+, some of them get straight F, or somewhere in the middle. But we were in the same class. as the description of the Quran demonstrates. It's beautiful, the life in the hereafter. The people of hell will say, we were in the same world, experiencing the same life, maybe sharing the same life. Now you are in a beautiful place, enjoyable place. I am in horrible. Why don't you come and help me? He said, no, you were in the class, but you were not listening. You were playing. You were not listening to the professor. You were playing. So you didn't learn anything. What do you have to claim from your creator that you will give a better grade? Of course, the professor is a judge professor. So we have to understand the difference between being successful in my relationship with the order of the universe and getting the result. That's why God keeps reminding us that we give some of you plenty of properties, facilities, so that you will enjoy your physical life. We won't give some of them those opportunities, but the very purpose of each case is, let's say, speak in terms of extreme examples, very rich men, very poor men. Both of them are the opportunities for you to acknowledge you are the needy one. The properties are given to you by someone else, and the poor guy also, you are the needy one. The properties are not given to you by someone else. Have you acknowledged that you don't have the power to create anything? Only me, the creator of the universe, has the power to create everything. Have you come to this conclusion? Did you educate yourself? Did you train your feelings to get ready to face the presence of this creator? That is the purpose. So I hope this very important question is understood. Okay, we are really late. I will continue. Not one encroaches upon another. He writes them all together, but none blocks the path of another. It's everything is perfectly arranged. That's what the example of what is going on in the face of this earth, how the pen of destiny is writing. Although we don't see the author, but we are absolutely sure that these sentences are the results of the manifestations of the power and knowledge of the author who decides what to write. Destiny, who decides what to write. It is his decision. I am just a reader. How the universe is like now out there, how the author of the universe wrote it. So simple. I'm just looking at it and reading it and trying to benefit from it, or some people may not bother about the meaning of this meaningful book of the universe. Okay. In their formation and shape, the example is continuing now. In their formation and shape, each is kept separate from the other without any confusion. There is no error in the writing. No error. Although we may say that not everybody is healthy. Some people are sick. Correct? Is there any error? No, it is just that you don't like to be sick. How about creating sickness? Who creates sickness? Who creates the germ or whatever the disease it is? Who creates the heart, and who creates the way that the arteries are blocked, for example, not functioning perfectly according to our expectations of the order of the universe? Who can create it? I have no time, so my experience, I don't have time to share it. So that wise and preserving one, the creator actually, who creates everything, with wisdom and preserves it in his knowledge. Who preserves and inserts the spirit of a great tree in the smallest seed. You see, demonstrating it in a very miraculous way that all the qualities of the tree, big tree, is inscribed into one cell of the seed. He says, look, my knowledge encompasses everything in the universe. At the same time, anything within the tiniest creature, everything is under my control. It's a beautiful demonstration. No bigger than a dot, it is the small seed. Is it possible even to ask how? Is it possible even to ask how he preserves the spirits of those who die? He preserves the spirit of the tree in a cell, but he wouldn't be able to preserve the seed of human spirit in one cell. He wouldn't do it. He wouldn't be able to do it. It is impossible to think this. That powerful one who causes the globe to revolve like a pebble in a ceiling. So the globe of Earth is nothing. Everybody knows now the universe is so huge that the Earth is almost nothing in the universe. So they are all perfectly arranged. Is it permissible even to ask how he will remove the globe from the path of his guests who are traveling to meet him in the hereafter and in the next creation? It means the one who really creates this universe, and he cannot really create human being again because the earth is gone. Earth is destroyed. But he created it from the beginning. So again, I am hurrying a little bit. At least we can come to the end of the 9th chapter, inshallah. Again, the one of glory is, but by the way, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't speak and you shouldn't write your comments and questions, objections, whatever you have. Please, anytime you like, I love it. But for example, the previous questions were perfect concerns of everyone. Everybody confuses about that matter. So my prayers are accepted in this universe while I'm obeying the order. Why not in the hereafter? No, it's a completely different matter. So I'm going to repeat this example of teaching again. But the teaching, the school example is excellent because the universe is a school. Yeah, universe is a real school. So being present in the class does not make you deserve to be given the degree and to learn it. Learning is a completely different process. Being present is a physical action, but learning what the professor teaches is a completely different process. We shouldn't confuse it. And the question included this confusion. But not only the one who, our friend wrote this question, is puzzled about this mystery, apparent mystery. Many people, they just say, oh, this problem of destiny, which is called in the Quranic language, qadar, taqdir, is a problem. No one can solve it. No, it's so easy, so easy. Belief matters are extremely easy. But what we do, we turn it into difficult forms because we add lots of imaginations in it. Just, it's so simple, so clear, as the Quran says. My explanations of belief matters are so clear, easy to understand, and makes everything easier for you to understand if you pay attention to it. I am amazed about this literature of the Quran, but it's a huge subject. Okay, again, the one of glory is essence, who from non-being recruits a new and inscribes into his battalions, the army battalions, using the army example, with the command of be and behold it is. The army what? He wanted, he willed it, and army appeared there. Is he really going and working on them, shouting at them, obey my rule, otherwise? No. Just wills it, it happens. Look at the universe, how it comes into existence with no difficulty. Nothing problematic, nothing problem at all, and continues to renew. It means everything comes into existence as a result of will. But does anything happen as a result of my will in this world? I want, for example, to fly. No. I want to go to the other one. If I don't walk, no. My will, only if I practice it physically. Thinking, acting, obeying the order of the universe, obeying the order of the spirit, I have to work and gradually do it. And the result is created by God again, not by me. But how the universe is happening? No effort at all. Okay, be and it is. This is also a Quranic expression. It's a very famous kun fayakun. It means God just wills it and it happens. Don't confuse with says be. No. God doesn't say be. It means in the Quranic language, it is just will of the Creator. Nothing is needed to act, to do something. Just will manifest itself perfectly on the spot. Now, even it doesn't have to say be and it happens. It is just false imagination and false understanding of the Quranic literature or the Quranic terms. So he doesn't have to say be, but this is the way of expressing how the things are coming into existence, not by working on them, by just willing them to happen. So we have to understand this Quranic phrase correctly. And with utmost discipline, the troops of all living things, the very particles of all of their bodies, and thus creates highly disciplined armies. Here is my body. Everything obeys the will of its creator. Is it permissible then? Is it permissible even to ask how he can make bodies submit to his discipline like a battalion? Now, again, come together again. Is it not is it doubt about? Is it possible to doubt about it? How he can gather together through a single blast their mutually acquired fundamental particles? It means they are already created, and it demonstrated that the one who made it can make it, and their component members. Of course, he can do it again because he already demonstrated that he is able to do it. You can, moreover, behold with your own eyes the numerous designs made by God as the signs, similes, and indications of resurrection, designs placed by him in every age and epoch of the world, in the alternation of day and night, even in the appearance and disappearance of clouds and the sky. Physically demonstrates that he is renewing. So it is obvious that he can create again and new. If you imagine yourself to have been living in 1,000 years ago, and then compare with each other the two wings of time that are the past, the future, then you will behold similes of the gathering and indications of resurrection as numerous as the creature centuries and days. It means go and think the universe has been created continuously, renewed. Corporeal resurrection as improbable or and rationally acceptable. Know your behavior to be pure lunacy. It means no, no, no. After seeing all these examples, and you say, no, I cannot do it. So what the Supreme Decree says concerning the truth we are discussing, let's say what God's verbal explanation says. Look upon the signs of God's mercy and see how he resolves life to the earth after it is death. Verily, he it is who shall bring to life the dead, and he is powerful over all things. That is what the verbal explanation really states what we experience in the world. In short, there is nothing that makes impossible the gathering of resurrection and everything that necessitates it. I mean, there is nothing to deny, but there are infinite number of evidence that it must be so. The glorious and eternal dominicality, the almighty and all-embracing sovereignty of the one who gives life and gives life on earth to this vast and wondrous earth, as if it were a mere animal. The whole universe is like an animal. So every element is, we call them galaxies, we call them, I don't know, plants, etc. Who has made of this earth a placing cradle for us. Again, this is the Quranic expression again. Now, we made the earth a cradle. That's the Quranic word. Yeah. A fine shape or a fine shape for men and the animals. The earth is a cradle. It means the baby is taking care of it. We are like babies in this world, in this earth, being taken care of by our example. Of course, this is just a parable, by our mother, father, carefully. Everything is provided. That is how God treats us. Of course, mother's treatment of a baby is also an explanation or example of his mercy. He creates the mother with these feelings. A fine shape for men and the animals, who has made of the sun a lamp furnishing light and heat to the hostelry of the caravan, or this temporary place of the world, hostelry. Let's say a kind of inn. You come here and stay one night and go. That's what the reality of this universe is. Who has made of the planets vehicles for the conveyance of his angels. It means everything is really manifested their meaningfulness through their representative angels. The dominicality and sovereignty of such a one cannot rest upon and be restricted to the transitory, impermanent, unstable, insignificant, changeable, unlasting, deficient, and imperfect affairs of this world. I mean, we cannot say that he can only do these impermanent things. The creator of this universe cannot create a permanent world for human beings as they desire, as they are given the desire to have the permanent, perfect life in the eternal life. So that is understandable. The one who does it can do it, and since he gave the desire for it to us human beings, we'll do it. He must therefore have another realm, one worthy of him. Look, it's important. One worthy of him is important. Why? He is infinite, and he must demonstrate it in an infinite way, that we will experience his being infinite. That's what one worthy of him. It means whatever he can do, he will do it. I mean, he can do permanent residence, he can, and he will create the permanent residence. So one worthy of him, permanent, stable, immutable, and glorious. Indeed, he doesn't have another kingdom. Sorry, he does have another kingdom. I was surprised when you read, I misread it, and I said, what it means? So he does have another kingdom, and it is for the sake of this that he causes us to labor, and to this that he summons us. It means he is collecting us in this class of the universe. He is teaching us in order to develop our abilities, and we have to struggle to learn what the professor is teaching. That is what he causes us to labor. It means labor doesn't mean that he needs an help in his act of creation. Labor means the professor doesn't need you to learn or not. He already knows it. He already knows it. He doesn't need you. What? Oh, the time is up. Oh, come on. So the professor doesn't need it. You need it to learn. That's why he says, come on, try to understand what I'm teaching. Pay attention to it. For what? Do you think when you understand, his knowledge will increase? No. When you understand, your knowledge will increase. That's what you have to work for it. And for this purpose, he summoned us in this world. And at the end, he will summon us on the graduation day to deliver the degrees. Who deserves what, who doesn't deserve at all. So that is the purpose of being in this world. It's a beautiful description. All those of illuminate spirit who have penetrated from outer appearances to truth, it means if you really use your reasoning, you understand what's going on in this world. And so use your spiritual aspect of your life by using the practical physical experience of your body. Now, it means physically be present in the class and intellectually pay attention to what is taught. And having ennobled with proximity to the divine presence, get closer to get to know what the professor is teaching and which kind of knowledge he has. So all the spiritual poles endowed with luminous hearts and all the possessor of lucid intelligence, it means really reasonable people using their intelligence, all bear witness that he will transfer us to that other kingdom. No, the people who uses, who he's very careful listening to the professor. He learns and said, professor taught this and this and that. And those people who have not paid attention to what the professor didn't teach, what the professor taught in class, they say, what? Did he really say this? They don't know because they didn't pay attention to it. But if they want to learn, they learn from them. That's the example of it. Those people say, I'm absolutely sure that there must be a hereafter. We say, really? Tell me. As the author of this book is really sharing his experience with us. They inform us anonymously that he has prepared for us their reward and requital. There means in the hereafter, reward and requital. And relate that he is repeatedly giving us firm promises and stern warnings. So that, look, definitely I will give the degree to those who listen and get the lesson, learn the lesson, and also definitely I won't give the degree to those people who don't learn. So the professor is serious, but he does his job. As for the breaking of a promise, it is baseless and utter humiliation. Why the professor should not keep his promise? Do you think he is just playing games here in the class? It cannot in any way, it is all for the students, for us. It cannot in any way be reconciled with the glory of his sanctity. Similarly, failure to fulfill a threat arises either from forgiveness and powerlessness. Now, unbelief is an extreme crime and cannot be forgiven. Oh, what shall we do? I don't know. Shall we read the footnote? Everything is precious. Okay. What shall we do? The time is really late. Come on. Share your choices quickly. We don't have time. Just say.
You can finish up if you need to.
Shall we continue? Anybody else? Or that's enough today. We are already tired.
No, we can continue maybe until 12:30.
Radwa.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, let's go as quick as possible. No one says no, is it? Anybody? I'm tired. That's enough. Let's go. Let's continue next week. All right. So no objection I heard so far. So footnote, unbelief denounces creation for alleged worthlessness and meaninglessness. If I don't believe that the professor is really teaching me something in class, what does it mean? The class, the school, and this institution is nothing, it's worth nothing, for nothing, purposeless, denies that the school is an education institution. So it is an insult to all of creation, a denial of the manifestation of the divine names in the mirror of beings. It means whatever the professor is teaching, he hears the voice, but he doesn't pay attention to the meaning. That's why the universe is a mirror. You see the mirror, but you don't see what is reflected in it. It means his creator's qualities are reflected in it. These are very precious examples. Seems to be simple, but really solves our problems, especially related to belief. It is disrespectful to all the divine names and rejection of the witness born to the divine unity by all beings. It is a denial of creation. It means conscious act of creation. It means this is just an accident. That's what the materialist philosophers or the scientists say. It corrupts men's potentialities in such a way that they are incapable of reform and unrespective to good. Unbelief is also an act of utter injustice. Unbelief is an utter injustice, a transgression against the rights of all of the creation and God's names. These are very important subjects. I don't really feel comfortable to just pass over it. For example, if a person sits in this class, which is in the class of the universe, and doesn't listen to the professor and pay attention, what does it mean? Two important results. It means this professor is stupid, just making noise here, and those people around me are also in the class, and their presence in the class is also meaningless. Insulting the professor, insulting the other creatures in the universe, if we say that the universe has no purpose and it has no conscious creator, it just happened to be accidentally. I happen to be here, I don't know how, but as a result of accident. Now, the words as to assign partners to God is verily a great transgression. It is the verse of the Quran. So why the saying that assigning partners is a shirk, the typical or very well-known word, shirk. It means assigning God is creator to something which is created, which means reduction, complete reduction. For example, instead of conscious creator, accidental happening. Instead of conscious creator, a dump with no knowledge, no power to do anything, which is called a phenomenon which is called nature, is making it. Who are there? What is this? In the universe. It is not in the universe, that's something else. But if it is in the universe, you have to show me, what is this? We are talking about a phenomenon which is just illusion. You made up a word for it. So Quran says it is the biggest crime, unforgivable crime. Insulting the professor, saying that you are not teaching anything. There is no purpose. Just accidentally, I hear some voices. That's it. Do you think the professor will forgive him? Is it possible? So the absolute omnipotent one is exempt of and exalted above all powerlessness. Of course, this creator cannot be accused of lacking any power to do anything. This is the universe. The witnesses it. Those who bring us their testimony and report, despite all the differences in their methods, temperaments, and paths, are totally unanimous and agreed on the basic matter. They are, for example, some of them come to the class to learn another, for example, biology, the other one comes there to learn sociology, the other one comes there to learn, I don't know, history, whatever. But they all say that this institution of education is wonderful, perfectly arranged, and for a purpose. So we have to take our responsibility and learn what is taught in this world. By their number, they have the authority of unanimity. It means every section of the university agrees that this education institution is really an education institution, and it is established to fulfill a purpose. It is meaningful, consciously arranged. By their quality, they have the authority of learned consensus. By their rank, each one is a guiding star of mankind, the cherished eye of the people, the object of nations' veneration. For every student who is successful in his branch is a witness that this institution, the school, is meaningful and has a purpose. By their importance, each one is an expert and an authority in the matter. People witness this. That's why the text is saying, in any art or science, two experts are preferred to thousands of non-experts, and two positive affirmers are preferred to thousands of negators in the transmission of a report. It means somebody was educated in this school and became a perfect engineer. The other one is educated in the same school, became a perfect engineer or doctor, let's say, or I don't know, any artist in any subject. What do they say? They say, this education is perfect. Look what I have learned from it. But the others who did not attend the class or didn't learn anything from the class, what do they say? Purposeless. I haven't seen anything. I haven't learned anything. Do we take notice of these people who didn't attend the class and listen and learned what is taught there? No, the ones who learn is the proof. The ones who didn't pay attention is not the proof. So that we can say majority of the students failed. So this institution is worthless. No, even one person learns, that is the point. Now, for example, the testimony, it is I think the matter is understood. The testimony of two men affirming the sighting of the crescent moon at the beginning of Ramadan totally nullifies the negations of thousands of people. That I haven't seen, but one says, I have saw it. The other one says, I have saw it as well. So it means I have learned something from this institution. The other one says, yes, I too have learned a lot from this institution, we say, this institution is teaching something. In short, in the whole world, there is no real report, no firmer claim, no more apparent truth than this. This world is without doubt a field, and the resurrection, a threshing floor, a harvest, paradise, and hell are each storehouses for the grain. It means we are harvesting here, the grains are, we are sowing here, and farming here, and the grain will be given in the next creation. So there must be another type of creation. I put the seed in the soil, and the seed in the soil rots. It doesn't mean that it means at the end it dies. It doesn't mean that there is no result of it, but the result will be gathered in summer, in the summer, depending on the season, in the summer. So whatever we do here seems to be, nothing is changing. Everybody is living in this world according to the established order of the universe. There is no difference. Believers are getting hungry. Unbelievers, deniers are getting hungry. Believers are eating and getting satisfied. Unbelievers are eating and getting satisfied. There is no result. There is no difference. But as far as human spirit is concerned, some of them are feeding their spirit, needs of their spirit. The other ones are killing their spirit, like killing the seed rather than planting it. Those people who don't believe in the purpose of this creation, they kill their spirit, make their spirit dumb, not function, or dysfunction. But those people who feel that there is a purpose in existing in this world is aware that this world has a purpose and prepare themselves accordingly, so that when they are educated after the graduation, they will be successful in real life because they know what to do. They are professional people acting now. The others are nothing. So pointless. Their existence gave no grain to be harvested at all. Gone. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين بحرمة سر سورة الفاتحة. Thank you very much.